Hi, my name is Danielle. Welcome to my channel. We're outside. Let's talk. Like freckles of glass, you return. The glass that you look in is cleared. Now you can see through the illusions. Now you can breathe your authentic essence. And you are not going to be able to ingest, consume, or experience anything that you are not any longer. For that was never the way that it was meant to be. You were always meant to embody and be free. And everything that you've ever experienced supports you in this journey. It doesn't mean that everything you've been through was meant to happen or it had to happen, but that there is nothing that does not see the light of the sun, the spirit, and bring nourishment to your soul. But you have to be willing to be open to those visions, because it's very different than what the world wants to sell you. That things can either be black or white. A complete rejection of the nuance, a complete rejection of the gray, a complete rejection of the truth, that we are everything and nothing all at once. And so you are learning to sit with that. If I am everything and nothing all at once, who am I? And you come at doors and you open these doors and you are in this room with all of these mirrors, and you lost yourself, but you didn't lose yourself, because you're nothing and you're everything all at once. You were simply dissolving the parts of you that you are no longer, the parts of you that have been transmuted, the parts of you that were alchemized, the parts of you that only served for a season, because you are everything and nothing all at once. The parts of you that only serve for a season are still a part of you, because you are whole. And so the fear that you have around changing, the fear that you have around the future, the fear that you might have around what will become of me is not necessary. Because in another world, you have already become. You have already become. You are already becomed. It's so interesting, because I was saying becomed, what has becomed, which is not even really a word in that sense, in my last video, Aquarius New Moon, in the becoming. You're seeing the becoming. I always say the dissolution, the end is the new beginning. And so don't get caught up in the world that tries to tell you new, more and more and more, different, innovate, without showing you how you have to make space by letting go of what is no longer. And again, it's not that you're no longer in those spaces or that they meant nothing, but that it's more nuanced than that. That we don't always have the full capacity to understand, or the even knowing, or the need to know the soul contracts that are connected between you and specific archetypal energies, whether that's a job, a person, a place, a way of speaking, whatever it is. Everything has a season and everything has a deadline. And so you are learning to trust yourself, learning to trust your divinity, learning to embody your divinity, which doesn't go off of the time as we know it. It goes off of the inner knowing. And so the answer is stillness. The answer is less. The answer is space. The answer is let go. The answer is dissolve. And anchor into what is now. Anchor into what is truly in the room that you are in right now. Because only from this place of anchored deeply in yourself, in your being, in your essence, and rooted into the earth, can you truly see what doors you should no longer open anymore, and what doors will set you free. And you will understand that the doors that you have entered before were just little minions for you to understand and wake up to who you are. And as you wake up more and more, there can be this entertainment of shock, where you might feel like it's so abrasive, it's so clear, and it's so right in your face that how could you not see that before? because you are morphing. How does the caterpillar, when it's in its cocoon, see the other butterflies flying away? No, it doesn't. But it still feels that yearning to go there, and it still transforms, and as will you. Many times you have found yourself thinking that this is the end. This is all I can be. This is where I stop. This is where I end. No. That is where you learned. That is where you mastered. That is where you processed. That is where you become. That is where you met your future self, the future timelines of you that already exist in the now, inside of you. They were calling you. And what your system registered as unknown, it registered as dangerous. It's not dangerous. It's actually your path. It's actually your home. Your future self is very much in you now, as is your past. But you are one. You are one, and again, you are nothing. Because what are you except for spirit experiencing itself in a human body? We are all fractals of the divine Most High. You don't really own anything. But the paradox is that your mission on earth is to own yourself and to own your divinity and express that. And so you are looking at everything that you've ever been through, and you are seeing the divinity in it. Divinity, you're seeing the humanness. You're seeing your humanness. You're seeing your innocence. You're seeing your purity in it. And you're no longer castrating, judging harshly, condemning yourself, because that does not help anyone. When you play the blame game, you hold so much shame and guilt that you don't allow yourself to transform. You stay in the cocoon, thinking that it'll help you, but not understanding that the cocoon has an expiry date. The cocoon will be moldy. The cocoon is not meant to be forever. And so open your heart again, open your mind again, because you can trust who you are now. You can trust that you are easily connected to your divinity within your own essence, that you can make the choices that align with your divinity, because baby, now there will be no wiggle room where you wonder, is this the right choice? You will feel it. If you take the time to anchor into your body, you can feel it viscerally. You know the answers, and you always knew them. There was always a door inside of you, many doors, many chambers of your heart that were willing to show you the answer. Many chambers of your heart of future versions of you who have chosen every choice that you could imaginable, who have the answers for you. If you go within and you silence yourself and you still the mind and you allow it to quiet and you visualize into those future versions of yourself and you see yourself making those choices, you will feel it. Because you are limitlessly powerful. You are a being, a divine cosmic being embodied in a human body. You have the power to see beyond what is the now. And especially during this Aquarius season, Aquarius rules the future. You can tap into these realms. You can tap into the realms that you have the key for. Only you can see this because it's your inner vision. Nobody else can be in you to see that vision. So asking other people what the right choice for you is a waste of time. Can you learn from other people? Can you adapt the things that worked for them and discard maybe some of the things that didn't? Absolutely. You have to also play the human game, right? Everything is a paradox. To tap into the spirit, to know the answers, but then to release and to really embody and be in the practical, be in the here and now, because that is the only way that you can actually act out your life mission. We can't discard either or. We're learning that they're one and the same. What the spirit wants the most is to have a human experience. The spirit doesn't want to disassociate and live in the ethers. If it wanted to do that, it wouldn't have incarnated as a human. And so your plan, your rules, your regulations are to contact within your inner essence, to still enough so you can hear what's always being said, always being repeated, so that you can crystallize that knowing in yourself of who the fuck you are. So that the world doesn't tell you who you are. Because as you are born, the mind is so malleable that the world tells you who you are. And so you adopt what they say about you because you are trying to survive. And that is very normal. That is the evolutionary process of being a human as we know it. You don't have the cognitive capacity to question what mom and dad or dad and dad or mom and mom or mom and dad, whatever, separate say. You don't have the cognitive capacity when you are younger to go, actually, no, that's not who I am. Maybe you have an instinctual knowingness, but oftentimes that expression of the authenticity gets met with suppression by other people, whether there's ill intent or not. Sometimes it's just a projection of other people so disassociated from their own authenticity that your authenticity, the moving around what is the norm, terrifies them, because it brings up in them all of the chambers in their hearts that they know they have to still to listen to. But lead by example. To change the world is to change the self. Not to change the self into something that I am not, but to morph into and to dissolve everything that you're not, so that you can hear your soul, your essence that is always there, always within you. Like a very gentle tape recorder, it never goes silent. But it will not yell, and it will not rush, and it does not abide by the rules and the laws and the regulations of the time, of the century, of the culture, of the world. It's otherworldly. Your soul is everlasting. Your soul is infinite. So why the fuck would it rush you? If you don't get these life lessons in this life or the next one, it doesn't matter. Because God, the divine, is ever patient. Unconditionally loving doesn't mean that you have to do this way. It means, here's what we decided before you came into this incarnation, and this is written and described in your heart. And if you want, if you please, if you have the capacity, the desire, you can find it. You can unravel, you can dissolve everything that you're not, and you can silence yourself. But baby, it will be challenging, because everything in the world is telling you to become something that you're not. Everything in the world from the birth, with all of the advertisements that we see, are telling you that there's something wrong with you, whether that's your hair, your personality, your sexuality, your gender, your desire to be fluid, whatever the fuck it is. People try to tell you because they want to make money off of you. This is the capitalist patriarchal society that we're in. Hurry up, do more, fight more, produce more. All of this is being discarded. This world will be no longer. You have to protect yourself. This is what it means to protect yourself. Protect your subconscious, which takes everything as fact. It doesn't care if you're joking or not. Speak love into yourself. Speak power into yourself. Speak knowing into yourself. Because even if you don't cognitively know who your soul is, who your essence is, it is in there, because it was transcribed by the divine on your soul and your heart. And you have access to that. You have the key. And nothing and no one can ever take that away from you, no matter what your external circumstances dictate. Only you can enter there. And you can enter there at any moment. And you don't need silence around you to get there. You need silence within to hear. Why this process is such a long process sometimes, not always. I'm not going to say it like it applies to all, because it doesn't. Everybody has their unique timetable with the divine. In order to silence the inner world, it sounds so simple, but it takes so much biological energy, a biological effort. Biological, what I mean by that is autonomous nervous system, meaning you don't have to consciously say, okay, do this, okay, do this. It's happening below your level of awareness. And this is why when we have spiritual awakenings, it's like our physical body is so tired. Baby, because you have been running from who you are your whole life, it's going to take a second for that system to revamp. Because your soul's like, oh shit, okay, they recognize me now. They want me now. They want to listen to me. Well, I have to change inside of you. The divine, the Most High changes inside of you. All of the faulty programs brings up all of these memories so that you can understand from the memories the conclusions that you made, because you have agency. You chose at one point to believe something. Squirrel agrees. And this does not mean that you are at fault. Like I said before, blaming does nothing. But it means that, confirmation burps, it means that, yeah, as hard as it can be and painful as it can be to understand that, like, oh yeah, I did bow down at some point and accept this to be my standard. It can happen before you even have the cognitive capacity to even rebuke it. So do not berate yourself. Whatever you do, do not berate yourself. It does not serve anything. But the reason why we must see, like, oh yes, I take accountability that I did decide to continue this. Maybe not in the moment, but I maintained it. is because only then can you really acknowledge, because I maintain something, that means that I have the internal capacity to turn it, to 180 degrees shift it right now. And I don't need to wait for anything or anyone in order to do that. I choose, because it's my body, it's my mind, it's my system. And I have the keys to all of the doors that I want to open inside of me. As within, so without. As above, so below. This is why we study astrology. This is why we see the patterns in how they interact with the human condition, the human life. Because what is happening above is happening below, because we are energetic beings. What is happening inside of us happens externally, because what is happening inside of us is what we hallucinate and project outside of us. So all of your power and agency is by being the guardian of your subconscious mind, because again, the subconscious mind takes things as facts. And so what you want to do is ensure that, no, you are not spiritually bypassing anything, because if you do, then you are missing the whole point. You cannot transmute something if you are not accepting that it is dark. You cannot change something if you are not accepting how fucked up it is, whether that's inside of you or externally, within your nuclear family, within your culture, within your heritage, within your ancestral lineage, within your environment, within the systems. Love and light comes after we alchemize. You cannot change something into something else if you're only looking at what you want it to be and excluding the fact that this is the vehicle to get there. So you see yourself when something gets activated in you, you look at it and you say, okay, let me be honest with myself. Let me not lie to myself. So many of us don't realize that we lie to ourselves. We lie to ourselves a lot because we want something to be what it is not. And we have hopes and dreams and wishes and desires and fantasies and wishes. I already said wishes, but about who someone is or about what something can be. Baby, all your power is here. All your power is here. So what is it? What is it? What are you really looking at? What does it activate inside of you? And where did that pattern show up earlier in your life? Because we are patterned beings. We are cyclical beings. And so you look at it and you are honest with yourself. This situation made me feel this way. I feel this way about this situation. I made a TikTok video earlier and I was talking about how I gave an example of somebody holding open the door. Okay, you open the door for somebody and then they're like, they're not appreciative of it. They're not appreciative of it. And so that activates something in you. Like, how dare they not, appreciate that I did that. But the reason why it activates you so much maybe is because early on in your life, you were never appreciated for just being a well-mannered person, and not in a fake way, but in an authentic way. You were never really truly appreciated for how nice you are. Sorry, not nice, for how kind you are. There's a difference between nice and kind, but how kind you were. How kind you were. You were never truly vocalized or appreciated for that. And so this event occurs, somebody's like, that you open the door for them. And that really knocks you off center. The reason why it knocks you off center is because there's unprocessed emotions that are coming up that make that event so much more than it actually is. But it is a learning lesson for you. It is part of your soul evolution. It is a medicinal experience that keeps repeating for your soul to choose that you are unconditionally loving and to vacate the premises of all of the beliefs that you hold that are not fucking true, that hurt you. And so from that experience, you might conclude, this is more evidence that who I am doesn't matter, or what I do, I have no impact. These are things that you might be feeling, right? These are the messages. That's what you need to do, is you need to ask yourself, what is the message that I was told from these similar situations, right? That I am not appreciative. What is that etched in me, in my subconscious, that I keep experiencing outside of me, because the external is going to mirror to us what's going on inside of us based off of our appraisal of the external. It is not that the external is a complete magnet for what's going on inside, meaning you don't attract what you are. No, because when you're a bright light, there's many flies that come too. Doesn't mean that you're a fly. You're a light. But if the flies come and then you decide, I must be disgusting, then that's the lesson. Because what you're tolerating, the appraisal that you tolerate, meaning the conclusion that you make based off of the external, is the lesson for you. And sometimes, things will happen to us that we really just dislike. But it will be so that we can strengthen our courage and strengthen our conviction in ourselves. To say, no, I know what my standard is for my life. And as we reject that which we do not want, that which we do not crave, that which does not align with our soul, we make space for something bigger. Because every time that you hold your standards up, you are making your field bigger. Because you are bringing more light into yourself. You are recognizing your worth, your value, your authenticity. You are recognizing the value in your uniqueness, the value in your unique desires, your unique choices, your unique path. But back to what I was saying about that example, what do? We are honest with ourselves and we say, what is the lesson? What is the message? Thank you. What is the message that I received from this experience? And from there, we look at that. We are honest with ourselves. Again, we don't lie to ourselves. We don't repress or deny what we're feeling. This doesn't mean that we're constantly going around the world feeling everything and crying. That's not what I'm saying. Crying's not bad. I cry all the time. Every single day I cry. Happy tears, proud tears, sad tears, constantly. The more you can flow, the better, because energy flowing means that it's not stuck and it means that it's at your disposal. And that's alchemy. Transmutation. I got a little sidetracked. But essentially what I'm saying here is that you look at what is the message that I received, and you ensure that you're examining that. But the last thing that you do before you close that book, before you say, okay, I'm done with this situation, is that you ensure that the last thing you say to yourself is the truth. That I am appreciated. I am worthy. My impact matters. Who I am as a person is kind. I am recognized for myself. And even if it isn't true in this very vicinity that you exist in, trust and believe that there is a future self within you that already is in that environment. And your belief in the fact that, yes, there is a timeline that I can open with my key within myself and my strong desire for it, I can change this. I can change this. And you will slowly be more strong in your conviction to say, I don't give a fuck what happens in my external when people are, not appreciating what I do. I know for a fact that this will come around in a different form and I will be appreciated for what I do. Maybe sometimes you just need a different environment, but you need to stay strong in yourself while you're not. Because that strength and conviction in yourself shows how much you unconditionally love yourself and unconditionally believe that you are unconditionally loved by the divine. Right? The standards that you're setting are showing the confines that you want to live in. So uphold those standards. Uphold those standards. But that is how you alchemize it, right? We're being honest with ourselves. What was the situation? What was the message that I got from this? And then what is the truth, though? Always end with what is the truth? Because that is what you are instilling in your subconscious. That's what you're etching down in the core beliefs of your wisdom, of your self, of your soul. So let it be true. Let it be true. And let it have the tinge of unconditional love. If it is not a loving thought, you can discard it. Because you did not come out of the womb hating yourself. And so if these are thoughts that are so rude to you, then they're not your own. They are conclusions that you have made at some time about the external. Okay? And so that's what's happening is all of those beliefs, all of those things that get etched into stone, they become little mirrors inside of you in your subconscious. And it comes up a lot in our dreams, right? Because your subconscious, having a heyday then. But these mirrors create such distortion in your life because they're not the true you. And they're symbolic of the disassociation from the truth inside of you. And it sounds like so much, but it's so simple. The biggest truths are usually very, very simple. That to come home into yourself is to first walk through those fractalized mirrors, and it can be so frightening because who are you? Again, you are everything that you're not and everything that you are all at once, because as we go through the world, we must first become what we're not if we're not, raised in perfect situations, the world, the community, whatever it is. And so when you have an awakening, now you see all of those mirrors, but you get to decide to smash them. You get to decide to smash them. because they're not true. They're not you. And so maybe that's something that you can do after you have an honest appraisal about the situation. Whatever is activated in you, you see it and you're honest with yourself. You see that message that you received, that untrue belief. You can smash it visually. See yourself smashing that mirror, and then see yourself holding another mirror that is right in front of you. That is the truth. And say, I only speak the truth into myself now. I only speak love into myself. I only speak protection into myself, because that is what the divine wants from me. That is what the divine gives me, because I am whole, and I will not allow the world around me to make me believe that there's something wrong with me. Because everything that I've done in my life was a lesson. Everything that I've chosen in itself had medicine in it. What is that thing? The snake venom can also be the poison from the snake is also the antidote. Again, we're not seeing things as black or white. That was a good experience, a bad experience. It was gray. If we're honest, it was gray. Again, I'm not saying that everything that was fucked up was meant to happen to you. That is not what I'm saying. But everything that you experience in life can be utilized for your highest and greatest good, should you believe it. Listen, if you don't believe in yourself, you have nothing. If you don't believe in your power, if you don't believe in your connectivity, if you don't believe that you are protected, if you don't believe that you're loved, you may as well not be. Because you will act in accordance to that belief. You will self-fulfill these prophecies. Cognitive behavioral therapy is literally manifestation. It's literally manifestation. Psychodynamic theory is looking at early attachments and what did I learn from the people around me? What did I conclude about myself from these people, these relationships? And how does that embody in my now? Just 2 examples. But science and spirituality really are one and the same. It just takes an eye to see it. And during Aquarius season, you are coming into such deep knowledge of who you are. Do not fear those mirrors that come up, because remember that you have the power to see them and to really be honest with yourself. Listen, you cannot smash that mirror if you aren't honest with yourself about what that mirror's message was. You have to see the faulty belief. You have to see the darkness. You have to see the shadow. If you cannot admit to yourself that you have been in the underworld of your own self and projecting or dissociating or denying something in yourself, you will smash that mirror, and as quickly as you smash it, the pieces will go back together and come back for you, because the lesson is for you not to deny or suppress your beingness. You cannot spiritually bypass this. But the fear, the ego does everything to keep us safe, okay? So it's going to tell you, no, it's not a good idea for me to revisit this. I don't want to feel these feelings again. I don't want to look back at these things that I've already been through. Baby, it wouldn't be coming up if there wasn't something for you here. Trust your beingness. Everything in the world, everything in our patriarchal world has told you not to trust the cycles. Don't trust the cycles. You should be operating on a sun where every day you get up and you go. Every day you get up and go. No. Your divine feminine inside of you, it doesn't matter if you're female, male, or non-binary. We all have feminine and masculine energy within us. Energy is just energy, but I'm saying it's feminine and masculine in the way that it's expressed. You can either push out energy or you can pull it in. And the way for you to integrate and to bring in knowledge is you have to pull it in. You pull it in from your experiences. So everything is trying to tell you to go, push forward. Listen, we need both. We need both. Don't get me fucking wrong. We need both. But in order for you to really see and to take power back from that reflection, you have to bring it in. You bring in that fractalized mirror and you bring in that perspective that is not fucking true. But if you are pushing it away and not allowing yourself to, one, feel it or acknowledge that its relevance is in your life and creating chaos, you don't get your power back from it. You are an alchemist. Don't be afraid of the reflections because you know yourself. The best way that I can say that you can support yourself in doing this is that you dedicate a minimum 30 minutes a day where you are just with yourself fully. And you are just allowing yourself to bring up whatever wants to come up, okay? Whatever you do with that 30 minutes does not matter, but this is 30 minutes of your day where you are not disassociating, you are not coming out of yourself, you're not scrolling on your phone, you're not having conversations with other people, you're not, whatever it is, you're really just with yourself. What if that is a quiet walk that you go on, if that is sitting with yourself, if that is staring at yourself, looking in the mirror, if that is you sitting and having conversations with yourself, the answers are within. But if you are not silencing yourself, if you are not slowing down, if you are not going within, they're not going to come up. You must make space inside of yourself. So you must see the broken mirror pieces of you that are untrue, but you must see their message because you must understand their medicine. And then you can heal yourself by showing yourself the mirror that is true. I love you so much. I hope you enjoyed this. This was just very spontaneous. I was just jumping from one rock to another on this walk that I'm on, and it hurt me. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm feeling 25. I'm feeling 25. So once I get off of this big, huge tree that's fallen down, thank you, tree, for supporting me. I'm going to see if it still hurts, if my hip flexor still hurts. And if it does, I'm just going to go back to my car. I also have to pee, but it's going to freeze my off. It's fine. It's fine. I love you, okay? I love you. Truly, we're in this together. But I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious, y'all, about that 30 minutes a day to yourself. And if you can't have 30 minutes a day to yourself, you really need to reevaluate what you're prioritizing in your life. Because if you're honest about not even self-development, if you're honest about wanting peace in your life or wanting clarity in your life, you need to make space for that to come through. 30 minutes a day for you is a gift. It is a non-negotiable as well, because that is filling your cup. I'm excited for you to do this because I'm excited for you to really get to know your essence, because it's always there. It's just waiting for you to connect. I love you so much. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and stick around because there's plenty where this came from. And today's video is going to be sponsored by Natural Choice Incense. If you want incense that is completely naturally made, so it's not toxic for you, link in the description to get 10% off your first order, or free shipping if you get $35 worth. I love you so much, and yeah, bye bye.